Who would have thought that the relocation of fisherfolk could lead to the opening of a new fish market political controversy? The decision by the Saint Lucia Air and Seaports Authority (SLASPA) and the government of Saint Lucia to relocate residents and fisherfolk from the Bananes Bay area has been met with strong opposition, particularly from the United Workers' Party and its deputy leader Guy Joseph. Critics have accused the ruling administration of poor planning and political opportunism, but the Saint Lucia Labour Party has remained resolute, defending the project as part of a long-term infrastructure-driven vision for national development. At this morning's pre-cabinet press briefing, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Tourism and Investment, Honorable Dr Ernest Hilaire, sought to address the criticisms head-on, describing the opposition's narrative as dishonest.
You would have heard a lot being said about the Bananes Bay Fishermen's Village, and I'm sure you may have some other questions that you may want to ask about Bananes Bay. And, you know, there is so much dishonesty and hypocrisy in the conversation that is taking place from the opposition. And I'll be very blunt and straightforward about it. Very, very dishonest.
According to Dr. Hilaire, a 2008 agreement signed between the UWP and Royal Caribbean mirrors the objectives currently being carried out by Global Ports Holding GmbH. The difference, he noted, however, is that under the United Workers' Party, there were no concrete plans or provisions for the development of Bananes Bay or for the welfare of its fisherfolk.
May 2016, I had a posting that I made, basically making the point that the United Workers' Party had signed an agreement with Royal Caribbean, in 2008, when the leader of the opposition was Minister of Tourism. And again, I'll make those documents of the House on Tuesday, where they had agreed for Royal Caribbean to do similar to what GPH is doing. But in that agreement, they had no arrangements for the development of Bananes Bay.
By 2018, Hilaire noted that the then Prime Minister Alan Chastney had already begun executing these plans.
By 2018, of course, you remember Labour Party lost the election in 2016. By 2018, the leader of the opposition visited Bananes Bay with the mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, who by then they were preparing him to run to contest in the next election. Visited Bananes Bay. Came with police. I remember that clearly. And some other government officials. Everybody started asking what's going on. And the talk we got was that they were planning to remove everybody there. Because they had plans for the area. They were talking about bulldozing residents. Bulldozing the area, getting rid of everybody.
Like anything else, the opposition remains committed to opposing almost any and everything that the ruling Saint Lucia Labour Party initiates, and such sentiments are echoed by Hilaire. Nevertheless, while the opposition is entitled to critique, it should be grounded in truth, not tactics aimed at distorting the facts.
The reality is that the opposition will oppose anything that promotes the development and advancement of this country. Plain and simple. Anything, no matter what it is. So Tommy Descartes is saying that the government is forcibly removing people from Bananes. I want the evidence of anybody that was forcibly removed. And all of a sudden he knows the entire process one must follow when you're relocating people. But in 2018, when the Ministry of Economic Development was doing it, and they removed the truckers and put them on the playing field at Goodlands, there was no consultation. Nobody knew what process had to be followed.
Despite mounting criticism, the government of Saint Lucia maintains that the relocation is necessary to support Saint Lucia's growing tourism and port development sectors. Officials stress that the aim is not displacement for its own sake, but the transformation of the area into a more modern and economically viable zone. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.